And one of the things that I wanted to mention is if you are on the X/Twitter, you can use the hashtag National eShip Week. And LUHS Lancers is one of our school handles. I'd also like to talk about New England Federal Credit Union and make sure that they get a little shout out. And Lamoille North is our school district. This is where we reside in the beautiful state of Vermont. We're a small little rural community. There's about 25,000 people in our community, about 464 square miles. Just to give you some basis of when we start talking numbers, the size of our population and our school size. Our school resides in Hyde Park, Vermont. Hyde Park has a population of about 3,000 people, 39 square miles, and our school has approximately 500 students. So, and we serve these rural towns. We're in a very rural part of Vermont. In 2018, in January 2018, we made the decision to try and change how we teach business here at Lamoille Union. We applied for a grant with Real World Scholars and EdCorp. So if there is a place that you're looking for, if you're thinking about starting entrepreneurship programs, this is a wonderful organization to get involved with. We received a $1,000 grant. So that started this whole thing that we have been able to build here with the kids. And so it doesn't take a lot of money. I think it takes opportunity. It takes a little bit of motivation, a little bit of like, we're going to get this done. I think to not let barriers get in the way. One of the things that I've been really blessed with here is that I have had the opportunity to be so supported by administration at the school district level and at the principalship level. And they have allowed us to really change how we teach here in terms of business education and the entrepreneurship program. Kids learn best when they're doing things. Okay, that's where in my opinion, that's where the depth of learning actually occurs. It occurs when they're doing things, and that doing isn't always successful doing. Sometimes it's making a mistake and learning from that mistake. So we have had plenty of successes and we've had plenty of quote unquote mistakes, but the reality is that's where learning happens. It happens right there. And so we really believe in a hands-on project-based learning approach when it comes to entrepreneurship. And just to give you an idea of the history, when we started in January of 2018, we started with 9 students. And that was our first semester. And we had 3 businesses that actually started. One of the things that you hear me talk about is that multiple businesses, there are a lot of ways that you can organize your entrepreneurship program. You could start it with everybody works on one product and they all work on different aspects of the business. That's certainly a way to do it. I took the idea that I want kids to be engaged in what they're doing, and that hopefully keeps them motivated to learn, right? And it makes for a great classroom environment because we have a lot of businesses that happen in this classroom. And we have started, and then in 2018 and 19, that calendar year, we went from the first semester of 9 students to 27. In 2019-20, the year as educators all gulp really hard, right? 2020 pandemic hits, shut them down. And we were like, are you serious? And so we had 18 students, and that was pretty much in the first semester. And so we didn't really, we couldn't do much in the second part of 2020. 21 was 20 to 21. That year was a rough year too, because we had schedules that were, this day, that day. And I remember literally almost in a panic, almost depressed. Like I was like, what's going to happen? How do I run this program in the middle of this COVID mess? And but somehow we were able to work it out. We moved into a bigger space. We spread kids out. I mean, we did everything we possibly could. And a lot of great things happened during that year, though. And I'll talk about those later. But let me tell you, it worked out, and we managed through it. In 21, 22, 34 students, 22, 23, 60. We're now this year at about 65 students for the calendar year. So you can see we only have a school of 500. And so 65 kids are taking entrepreneurship. A couple things that happened along the way. The first was we started offering it with just one block, and then we went to 2 blocks to every day. So we have 2 classes every day, 5 days a week right now. Over 20 different businesses have started here. And as you will see shortly, when we turn the camera around and you get to start to meet these amazing kids, I'll tell you, my day is not boring, okay? Because there are multiple businesses happening in here, and I've got to learn about 3D printing, sewing, using the Cricut machine, you name it. I'm learning with them at times, and sometimes we have to look for some other people in the school building to help us too. I'm a big collaboration guy. I think that's critically important in education. The more people we can have be involved in our classrooms and with kids, that just makes for a better learning environment for everybody. We were able to create and start a Lamoille Union high school business college scholarship program from the profits of this program. Now, this program is self-sustainable. It generates profit in just about, everything that we do to some degree. There are some things where we back off and just make our money back. If it's a team, if it's a local place that we want to help out, we can do that. But ultimately, one of the ideas is that we are not constrained to the school budget with this program, because we are able to support ourselves through the sales of what we do. And that was really the whole concept for me from the beginning, was to develop a program where kids would make things, actually sell them, and we've grown it to a store, which you'll see in a little bit. We host a calendar of theme day events and celebrations now, and that's one of the things that happened in the pandemic year. We were forced to think a little bit differently, and now we offer things like Lucky Lancer Day, and that's going to be on March 15th. And so, the whole school's involved. We give out a Lucky Lancer snack, businesses are set up, and it's just a way for us to celebrate as a school community. And so we have a variety of those throughout the calendar year, and I think that's what this is. It's really grown into more than just the business program. It's a celebration in our school community, and that's what we really want to be a part of. We want to be a contributor to our school community overall. We have supported multiple community organizations, the local United Ways, the community food shelves. Being able to do some sales and give back to these organizations is vital and critically important. And the last one was we opened up the Lamoille Union School Store. So that's where we're at right now, is we are actually operating our first retail operation. All of the products that are in the store are made by the business program. And so that's really one of the twists, right? Back in the old school store days, it was like buy pencils, mark them up, and retail. And there is a part of that that's great, but really the whole idea of kids making products and selling them in the store is what we wanted to be about, and that we are about. So without further ado, we are going to turn this camera around, and you're going to start to see what this actually looks like. We have set up 7 different areas, including the store, that we will go to. And you're going to get to meet some kids, and they're going to talk about what they do, and they're going to show you how they do it. Let's go. Our first stop is Charlie Kells. Charlie, 3rd-year program.
Third year.
Third year.
Freshman year.
And that's the other thing that's been wonderful about the business program here is that we have been able to have kids return and stay in the program and continue on. And I'll just make a little plug for you, Charlie. Like he's getting ready to, start his own business. And it's all from the things that we have learned here. So Charlie, tell us about the apparel process and what you do.
So like Bob said, I did start my freshman year, and I actually started with 3D printing. And then I decided that it was very difficult. And the first year I did it, it was basically all trying to learn the 3D printer and how it went on. And then Bob brought me into the apparel business because the senior that ran it was leaving. So we need someone to step up. So I started learning. First, he showed me how Transfer Express worked. Transfer Express is where we order all of our transfers and we design them ourselves through Transfer Express. And then here's just a little show of some orders that we have received. We also order our apparel through Transfer Express. We get that wholesale. And this is what the transfers come in. They come in a box on these sheets. We'll put the sheet on. I'll show you that demonstration of printing the shirt in a second. And then we'll also have these, which is the information sheet. It'll show you the temperature you need to set the press at, the time it needs to press, the pre-press, etc. Pressure. We'll also get the invoice in the box, showing us the amount of transfers we ordered, the price for all the transfers, shipping, tax, etc. And finally, the press. This is a very new press. Actually, we just got this. This shows we actually have a fancy pen on this new press. Very simple to use. We can go little 3 box. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a little box in the corner, and it shows you all different types of transfers. For instance, this is a goof-proof transfer. There are multiple types of transfers. Goof-proof is good. It's limited to 1 to 2 colors. But if you do mass orders, the more you buy, the cheaper it is, which is why we like goof-proof. So all I have to do is click down, click on the goof-proof. It is all set. Ready to print. It'll show you my temp, my time, all that.
Question.
Yeah.
Transfer type, is it, why would we use a goof-proof over some other transfer?
Goof-proof is good because it can go on a wide range of clothing. And it is, like I said, the more you order, the cheaper it is. So it helps with costs, lowering our products. And I mean, yeah.
So that jacket behind you, what would be the transfer type that we would use for that?
That would be elastic print. Elastic print is good for stretchy material. So if you put goof-proof on, say, a polyester shirt, like a Nike training shirt or something, the transfer would actually rip. And because it's not, the material that you use to transfer is not stretchy, as where elastic print is stretchy. So there's different transfers for different types of apparel. But goof-proof, you can put on a wide assortment, cotton, 50-50 blends, but not like fully polyester.
Does temperature have something to do with that?
Temperature does actually, yeah. So for every transfer type, there is different temperature settings. For goof-proof, it is 365. And then say for elastic print, it'll be 290. And time also has to have a factor in that. For the goof-proof, if you have a higher temperature, you have to have typically a lower time. Because if you have the same time and a higher temperature, you can risk burning the apparel or melting the transfer, and it just blotching and being a mess. So I think we actually are ready to print this. So what I'll do, I already have the apparel lined up, but I use 3 reference points. I'll use the seam for each side of the sleeve. So I want to make sure those are equal distance from the side of the printing press, and then I'll use the collar. So for this one, I'm not going to do, usually I'll do the 3-finger rule, which is 3 fingers from the top of the press to the bottom of the collar. But with this one, I don't need to do that because it's very lengthy, unlike our older press. And then I will line up, make sure that I'm not pressing it upside down. Line it up, pull up the shirt, make sure it is equal. And then I will take it off once I have my reference points. I'll slide this under, set it down for pre-press. What this does is basically it wicks out all of the moisture in the shirt, so it makes it easier for the adhesive to adhere to the shirt. So there's no moisture, and it also creates kind of an iron. It flattens out all of the wrinkles in the apparel. So then I'll put it back to my reference point. And then we have right here. So what this does, this is also just another a protective layer, because this is very hot. The metal plate is 365 degrees, which will melt a t-shirt. So this is heat resistant. What it does is it takes the heat and it just transfers it away from the apparel, so we do not burn it. And also it'll prevent the paper from melting to the transfer instead of transferring from the transfer to the shirt. Pull that there. Sit down, and we don't need to change any settings. The press will do that for you. It'll switch from the pre-press time to the press time. Roll that out, and then we'll just peel this right off, and the shirt is finished. And for pricing, how we price this, and even though we're a nonprofit, we take the gross profit, put it back in. We'll take the cost of everything, buying it, say 40 shirts will be $300. We'll take that and then add up the amount the transfers will cost, and then we'll mark it up 30% profit margin, and that'll be our retail price for the store. We have done very many of these shirts, and this is only half of the apparel industry in the store. The other half is sublimation, which Isaiah Jones is in charge of.
All right. Thank you, Charlie. This is Isaiah. Isaiah's been with us for 2 years. Yep, 2 years now. Isaiah is a master sublimator, one of the best that we've ever seen or had. Sublimation is a process that we just started getting into thanks to a student during the 2020-21 year who did all of the background to figure out how do you do this, what printers do you use, what ink do you use, what paper do you use, and she did everything and got it off the ground, and now Isaiah's taking it to another level. So Isaiah, tell us about sublimation and how you do it.
Yeah, so basically we start out with opening up, we use Creative Studio as our base system, and basically we will do whatever. So we'll usually measure out the whatever product we have, and we'll go in here, put our canvas size in for our product, and then we can upload any image that we have onto our systems or that you want us to do, as long as it's a high quality photo. And we can put it right in here, size it up, and print it out. So we'll just go here, select the material that we are using of the product. So right here, we're going to do a stainless steel ornament. So just make sure that it's on stainless steel. Sometimes it takes a second, but once that prints out, we'll come right over here. It'll print out of our printer. It has, this printer is Sawgrass as well, the same as Creative Studio, same company. We use a specific type of ink and paper that can adhere onto different types of products. And then we get all of our products from Johnson's Plastics, and all of the information can be found right on Johnson's Plastics for the different temperatures of the machine and time that it needs to be pressed. So right here, it says time is 50 to 60 seconds and temperature is about 360 to 370 degrees Fahrenheit. So then if we go over here, I already have it all set up to the time and the temperature. And it says over there on the website that it is light pressure. So we will make sure that the sublimation is heat side up to the press, and we'll go ahead, press this down, make sure that it's on the right pressure, and then go ahead and start the timer.
So while we're waiting, talk a little bit about a couple of the things that you've learned along the way in relationship to sublimation. What's worked, what hasn't worked, what are some things that are really important?
Yeah, so basically for sublimation, it's really just like you got to really be precise and like make sure that everything that you're doing is lined up, because even if you're a centimeter off, it'll show up on the, because everything has a white background. So if you're even a centimeter off, you're gonna have a white line. So you just want to make sure that like you really have the time and the patience to like have it perfect, because even if it's not like the slightest bit off, it'll look off.
Sometimes it can be stainless steel though, it can be.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll wait until that's off before we talk about this.
And then our press, we also have mug presses and water bottle presses up here. We can do stuff like this on a stainless steel. This is stainless steel as well. We also can do ceramic mugs or coffee cups.
So,
I can get at least 2 of these, but it is fine. What I do is
so you can just put that. You put that down and so big. We'll show them kind of what it looks like.
yeah. So
The paper
sometimes,
did
yeah,
stick
sometimes the paper
on
does
there.
stick on
Yeah.
here, but it does peel right off once it cools down.
Yeah.
But other than that, it does look pretty good.
Here.
Um.
One of the
And
last things that we can do.
Yeah, so then we can also, on all of the polyester products and fabrics, we have the ink can sublimate right onto here as well. We would usually use one of the bigger presses for that, for different designs and sizes. But same thing, you would just go on to your Creative Studio, select the product type right here. So you just go into your, as you're printing, you just select the product type, like polyester's right here, and then it would be perfect. The machine would get all of the ink and it would be like printed out onto the paper as of the polyester product. But other than that, our pricing, we do whatever the product is, whatever the price of the product, plus $1 for the print and paper, and then we would multiply it by 2 for the revenue of keeping it into the business and being able to keep it going. Other than that, I think that is pretty much it.
Thank you, Isaiah. Grace Potvin started with us last semester and she introduced patches. So tell us all about the patch process, how you went about creating our first Loyal Union patch and hat business.
So going through all this process of finding the right patch type and finding what kind of heat presses work the best for hats, I went straight to a website called Stalls, which is also the sister company for Transfer Express. And so when you go to Stalls, they have tons of different kinds of patches, from embroidered ones to leather to 3D ones. And so I got a sample of each different kind of patch and I tested it all on different hats. And then I picked the one that I thought would be best for the hats. So I ended up going with a print stitch, which is embroidered border, and then kind of just a regular background. And so I took our school logo and I communicated for maybe a month to a month and a half with Stalls. And I told them exactly what colors I wanted, where I wanted those colors, and what I thought it would look like. And then they shipped me the patch, and then I tested it all on different hats once again. And the best hats that I thought would work with the patches was a normal baseball cap. And so with the baseball caps, we actually use this press. And basically you just want to attach it in the back so then it stretches it out. And then you just press it. And once this patch is pressed to the hat, it's going to stay on the hat and it's not going to come off. Like I can sit here for hours and just try to take it off and it won't. With these type of winter hats, I actually have to use that small press that Isaiah was using. And what I learned through trial and error was that you want to be able to press the whole hat, because if you just press half of it down, it's going to leave a crease line, and it's also going to do like all these little fridges throughout it. This is what the patch actually looks like being sent to us. And so what you do is you just pre-press it for 5 to 10 seconds, get it warm, and then once you push it on, it'll kind of already start to sublimate to the hat. And then you just press it and it's on there for good.
And the difference between the baseball cap and the winter hat.
Yeah.
You talked about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Grace. Estes Rodriguez. There's a couple businesses that have been kind of staples. The apparel business and the heat transfer businesses are a big part, but candles has been one that has been with us since the beginning. It's a great product for kids to work with and learn how to price and everything. So Estes is going to talk about his candle business and how you got that started.
Yeah, so I make candles. This is my first year here. I'm a freshman. And I'm using these containers today. I can use like any size pretty much. I'll grab the wax from in here. It's usually double the wax that it takes. You have to melt double the wax it takes to put in this. And I got it melted right here. So you would leave it at a low temperature or you're gonna like burn the wax kind of. It'd come out all crappy. But first I need to scent it and color it. Big thing about scenting is you don't want to use too much because you'll waste a lot of money if you do. So for a thing like this, it's just gonna be a few drops, few like tubes kind of. You go until it like smells good and then you put a little bit more in just to make sure the scent stays. Probably one more after that. And then this, I'm using a sweet orange, so I'm gonna make it like an orangey color. Match the scent. So I got my dyes right here. And I'll just put like 1 or 2 drops of this in. Stir around. And then, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a nice orange color to it. I have the wick glued to the bottom so it's lined up nice. And I'll just pour it. And I leave a big gap so the top of the candle can fit in. And it'll look like this when it's done. Something like this. Oh, so I made these labels here on a Canva with the help of one of our business kids. You'll get to her next. So she prints them out on label paper and then cuts them out in a breather machine and like cuts it out perfectly. So it doesn't look all ugly.
Something that you learned in this process.
One of the things that I learned is that like you got to keep this at low heat because if you have it high, it'll make a ton of like cracks in the candle that look bad. And you have to really measure out well because you could lose a lot of money if you put way too much wax and too much scent, stuff like that.
How much does a candle cost?
One of these costs about $2, and then we sell it for $5, so $3 profit. And the thing that costs the most money is the jars. The wax costs like nothing, like 20 cents maybe, and the scent a little more, probably like 50 per candle.
Yeah. Thank you, Estes. Thank you. Our next student is Ava. Ava started with a brother, and we had a Cricut before, and we decided that we would try the brother machine. And Ava's going to talk about her business, homemade holidays.
Homemade for the holidays.
Homemade for the holidays.
So my business is basically like a decoration business for like all of your holiday parties and stuff. And so what I did basically is I take designs from Canvas Workspace and I'll print them onto here. And then I'll send this image to our brother cutter. And it'll take the outline of like, so this is a bookmark that I'm cutting out. It'll take that outline so you don't get any of the like inside designs of it, and it'll cut it out perfectly. And then you just glue it together to make your final product, which is, this is what it's gonna look like. So you'll select cut for just a direct cut, but this can do a lot of things. It can draw onto paper to make your design, and it can also scan other like designs that were already on a paper, and it'll cut that out too. And it depends on what you're making. Like for a product like something like this, it'll take longer to cut out because it has more design, like more intricate designs. But for something like a bookmark, it just takes 1 to 2 minutes. So the way that I would price each product is on how much time it takes me to make each, because it takes a lot of time to cut each out and glue each together and figure out how to build those. So, but each material costs about 30 to 20 cents. But I'll price each product at $2 to $3 at the most. And we use specifically the brother cutter mats to cut these out because it won't load in any other mat. It won't load in a Cricut mat. It won't load in any other machine from this company. It has to load in a specific type of mat, which doesn't always stick. So I spent so much time trying to figure out how to get, like, these just peel right off when they're supposed to stick down to this mat. But it cuts them out very well. The machine itself works very well, but the mats were my enemy during this.
We're going to talk about just a little bit about the biggest challenge that you faced.
The biggest challenge was just figuring out how to use it all in such a short amount of time, because this is not a very long class. But to build an entire business, and it's only 1 semester for me because I'm not in this class anymore. I'm in my next semester class. But it took me a lot of time to figure out Canva and the brother and how to build each product and how to price each product. And then once I got it all together, I had to leave.
Yeah, that is true. But Ava did an amazing job. So thank you. And our next student is Amber. Amber and Brianna started a blanket business. And so tell us all about the blankets.
So these blankets that we make probably take us around 45 minutes to an hour. We have many different styles of blankets that you can choose from. Our main 3 are right over there: basketball, soccer, and plaid. We tried to stick more with like themes because those seem to sell the best. Our biggest seller was when we did a Halloween themed blanket, and one side was orange and one side had pumpkins on it, and those sold within a week of us putting them on there. Around each blanket cost about $30 to make, and we priced them at $40. We were also able to work with the lamination. We put LED on one of the blankets, which has been able to stay there a while. We chose to do blankets because it was kind of something that was popular at the time and people were enjoying to do them, and they are pretty fun to make, and it doesn't take too much time, but definitely tying the knots can be tiring. We decided to put a name tag with our logo on it, which is A&D Blankets, and we also only had 1 semester to do it, so we tried to work our best to make as many blankets as we could and sold as many as we could in a time.
This product is a great example of, you know, going outside of, I never expected that we would have blankets. couple things about Amber and Brianna is that they made a quality blanket too. Who is our supplier?
Joanna Fabrics. We get all of the blankets from Joanna Fabrics, and it's all polar fleece.
And the second thing I'll say about Amber is we do some school visits, and we have a partner school in Winooski, Vermont, and they come up every fall, and they did such an incredible job teaching the Winooski kids how to make this product. And so it was a great addition. There are a lot of things that we could do with these blankets. I mean, this is just the beginning. Thank you, Amber. Okay, everybody, we are headed down the hallway to our final destination. Our final destination is what we have been waiting for here at Lamoille Union High School, which is our school store. Our school store opened in March, and that was a result of a grant that we were able to receive from the Vermont Small Business Development Center. It was a $2,500 grant, and in that process, we were able to buy the square system and some of the equipment we needed to open up the store. And our store manager is waiting for us, so let's go. Lydia is our store manager. She has done an amazing job organizing the store, setting up the store, scheduling the store, and she's just going to tell us everything about the store.
I'm just going to start with a quick tour. So over here we have our candles, which we have candles with jars and candles without. And then over here we have stickers, and we have our hats. The patches were created and put on by the students. And then over here we have some jewelry, and then some more jewelry in here. Over here we have a section with our lunch students little mugs and cards. And over here we have our apparel section. We have sweatpants, sweatshirts, shirts, raincoats. Over here is our order section, which we either have one of them at the moment, or like, for instance, we have like a sports raincoat here, so this could be done by like another sports team. And then over here we have our one-off section, which is pretty much either it was slightly ruined, or we only have one of them at the moment. And then over here we have our popcorn section, which is, you know, right now we don't have any popcorn being made or popped, but usually we do when the store is open. My job as store manager is I create the design for the store, which means like I figure out where the product is going, but also communicating with the businesses, and I also make the school store schedule, like who's working. Yeah. The big thing that I'm trying to do right now is put more food items in the school store. Yeah.
Lydia, without Lydia, the store would not be functioning right now. The scheduling of students, the organizing of events. You did we had our Candy Cane Lane event is in December, and Lydia, Amber, Brianna, Natalie, a group of people came together and organized that event. We did $500 of sales in one day. So that's the largest we've ever sold in one day, and it was thanks to their organization and promotion and everything about it. A couple things that I wanted to show you. This is a boys basketball jacket. It was a major order that we just finished. This was an extra that we had, but they ordered a shirt and a jacket. And so that's one of the things that we just recently did. The other thing that I wanted to highlight is this space right here. And this is one of the things that where we're headed, which is having students' designs go on product. You know, everything, it's great that we have a lot of Blue Gold, Lamoille Union, Go Lancers. That's great. And we want to continue that, but our hope is that we're moving into a direction of being more of a gift shop appearance too. And so what a better way to recognize kids' creativity and artistic ability by having them create their own designs and then be able to then have products made by them. This space over here is our sublimation area. And one of the last things that I'll talk about in the store here is that this awards, we give out awards to our business program now. And so we make our own awards. This one is the award for the Scholar Athlete. I think he used that image for the actual plate that he just made. I coached baseball here in 21 because they needed somebody. I love baseball, don't get me wrong, but I did it primarily because they just really needed somebody because I'm really busy. But we decided we did these awards for all the seniors. They had a photo collage, their name and number. This is an award we did for the chess team when they won the championships. And so I think this has a whole new market too as well when it comes to offering sublimation. I think is the next step for us. The transfers and making shirts have a lot of opportunity, but the sublimation piece is very personalized. It's very customized. We can print pictures, photographs. So there's a lot of opportunity when if you bring the camera in closer, you can see things like this puzzle that was made with sublimation. We have photo blocks. So there's a lot of opportunity for people to make products when it comes to sublimation. So I think sublimation has a great fit. We're going to head back to the store. I'm going to kind of finalize a couple things. The last piece that I'll go over are some things that I think would be really successful in you doing in terms of creating an entrepreneurship program. If we have time, we'll maybe be able to open up for questions so you can ask the kids directly the things that they learned or questions you may have about the actual So some things that what I think are considerations to start your entrepreneurship program. One of the things that I wanted to recognize are community partners. Community partners have been a huge part of what we've been able to do here. All of these logos here represent in some way an organization helping us grow and evolve. In particular, our most recent and newest community partner was New England Federal Credit Union. New England Federal Credit Union came here with several people. They toured what you got a little glimpse of today in person, and they offered to buy us this the new heat press that we have today. And we are really thankful to be able to have community partners like New England Federal Credit Union because this equipment is not cheap. And so being able to upgrade to the newest model of the heat press is really going to help our apparel department grow. And we have printed more sweatshirts and jackets and than I thought we would ever do, primarily because the store is open. And we're going to be transferring online to that soon. And that's going to be a whole nother level. The Community Navigator Pilot Program was offered through the Vermont Small Business Development Center and the Vermont Principals Association. And I was like, hey, we're applying. And we ended up getting the grant through this program. I would check your small business development organizations within your state. They may have something like this. Find out, be involved with your small business development centers. They're a great resource. We do a lot of training with them, and a lot of things that I've been able to learn through their program has in the small business development center has been really advantageous. And so we're really thankful that we were able to get that money to get that store running. Butternut Mountain Farms was one of our first partners. They are a local maple syrup manufacturer, but what they did for us was they provided some maple syrup for a product that we were making. It was our first food product, and so they came and they actually visited, and they did very similar to what I was describing with New England Federal Credit Union, but they actually had a meeting here. And that meeting right here was run by the students. And this is the thing that's the most important part of this whole thing, is that kids have to be in charge. You have to let them be able to make decisions. You want to guide them. They ran the meeting, but they came in with their marketing people and they toured. They got to meet all the different businesses. And so that was our first, partner, really, in what we were doing. Build a brand, build your program. I say this, you're not accounting class, you're not financial independence, and you're not entrepreneurship. You are a business program in your school. You want kids taking business classes in your school. You want them, when they come in, whether it's financial independence or it's accounting, that they are staying, that this is a landing for them. And that's what you want to create. You want to create an environment where kids want to be involved. And I can't stress that enough, because I think that's really, really important. Get funding, look for it. It's out there. If you're just starting, Real World Scholars is a great place to go. Like I said, they have good resources too. But that's a great place to get an initial little bit of money, and then and start planting the seed, right? Like get it started. I talk about building multiple businesses because I just think it's really important to have variety, have kids be involved in different things. It makes for an active classroom. Okay. It diversifies how money's coming in too, which is important, because we're not nonprofit. Okay, we are here to make money, to sustain this program and grow it, right? And so in order to do that, having different revenue streams really helps. Start production as soon as possible, right? One of the things that's really important, I think, in this environment is get kids actively engaged in the product they're making, right? They're not taking this class to listen to you lecture. The days of teaching the business plan in high school for me are over, right? Like there's a time and a place for that. This isn't the place. This is a place where we're gonna get engaged in product. Our learning's gonna happen through the products that we're making. We're gonna infuse the business principles, marketing, accounting, and the financials that go into running a business. Inventory is going to be a big part of our business soon, as you can tell from the store and other things. And so, for me, it's about getting active. Give students the reins. One of the things that I like to do is have them be writing journals, having some sort of level of like, what are you doing? I have a journal file that they can log in. Hey, here's what I did today. Here's what my goals are, right? I have so many different businesses going on. I can't remember every one of them. So being able to get in, see those pages, and be able to make my own additions to it is critical. And then make sure you get around. When you're walking around, hey, how's it going? What are you working on today? Oh, great. And then you get some feedback. Let the kids tell you. You don't have to micromanage everything. Collaborate with expert teachers. I think that's really important. I'm not a good English guy, right? And so we'll use our English teacher if we need to have them review an email and correspondence and communication. This was our art teacher who was going over some sort of design. This was the beginnings of the Cricut when we were looking at trying to make labels and stickers and things like that. And so again, I'm not an art guy, so I bring in art people, right? Like we try to use all of our assets to our advantage. I say develop one business that's appealing. I call it a cash cow. Like you have to have something that's gonna put it out there, put you out there. We have kids that are wearing shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, and they're made by the kids that are here, right? And so, you know what, this was the first job that we ever did in 2018, and it was for the track and field team. And let me tell you, that's a really special picture to me, because this group was the beginning of what we became today. And so when you can look back at those things, it's really nice. So, you know, get involved with the community in your school, the groups, the teams, and things like that. Look for opportunities for promotion. This is about the kids. This isn't about me or any teacher. So I am always looking for ways to have kids be involved, just like what you saw today. The Vermont Small Business, this was the last in-person student entrepreneurship conference they had. COVID hit, and now they're doing it online. And I heard the governor of Vermont was going to be there, and I was like, oh. And I called the people, and I was like, you know what? We'd like to give the governor a gift. And this is Jake Randall standing up in front of like a room of 300 people, and he's talking about what we do, thanking the governor and giving the governor something, right? What an experience, right? Big promoter of kids. We do it through school board galleries every semester. We try to set up a night with the school board. They come down, see what the kids are doing. Now we have it in the store, which is even, I think, kind of nicer in some ways. We have a central spot, right? We're building the central spot, but don't be afraid. Call up your central office. How do I get on? They want to see your kids, right? Put them out there. Local businesses come. This person was the vice president of Union Bank that came in that day, Greg Koslett. And he was a really active, engaged participant in our program. He would come in a lot just to look at, and randomly, nothing set up. Be like, hey, come on over. And the kids would just start talking about what they were doing and get feedback. Again, school-wide skills days.
Bob,
Yes.
five
Yes.
minute warning. Although I think all of us would sit here for like the rest of the day and let your kids talk. So just 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, I did see the clock, and I'm running it down. I appreciate you. I was like, who's talking to me anyway? So it's interesting not having. I don't see the screen. I'm on an iPad camera right now. So school-wide sales days. Now we've turned those into theme days. Using social media, letting your businesses post things. And go through that process is always good. This is an example of where we actually got examples of what people said about us. We made all of these shirts for this team, and this was our first label we did for a local maple syrup producer, and they actually put it on their jars in their store. This was a United Way campaign that we did, and we did a fitness course. I could talk all day about all the different businesses that we have, and I just didn't want to go in that direction, but you're going to find a way to be able to communicate with us and get more information about the different things. Invite other schools to visit. I'll tell you, this is one of the best things we've ever done. We have a partner school, I call, it's Winooski High School. They come in every fall, and we set up the businesses, and our kids teach them what they do. And you just can't imagine what you see when kids are teaching kids. Oh, Toy and Amber, doesn't this bring back memories? We did a podcast in 2019 with EntreEd, and what a great experience. Jake Randall was on the road going to visit schools, and he pulled over so that we could actually do it. This is our college scholarship. It's $500 right now. We're giving away 2 every year. So we're really looking forward to maybe growing that a little bit. We do a business awards meeting evening. I recognize kids in business classes, whether it's accounting, financial independence. I give out our scholarship awards. We make the awards, so it's really nice. We also do a community partner award now. And our first 2 recipients were Butternut Mountain and Union Bank. We've been recognized by the Levy Foundation at Valley Forge. And here's some of our entrepreneurship education partners: Entre Ed, Vermont Small Business, Nifty, our vendors, Johnson's Plastics, Transfer Express, Stalls. These are all things all places that we've done. This is how you connect with me and us. Thank you. Everybody, can you just turn around? Everybody get together. We're doing one last thank you. Turn around. Yeah. From the wonderful town of Hyde Park, Vermont, and Lamoille. Thank you for having us. Have a great day.